The Black Canyon City Library. Meeting notices were posted outside the Black Canyon City Water office, at the post office, and on the website. I think I covered everything I need to there. It is now 1400. I'm Elaine, the board chair.
Irene Brooks, vice chair. Melina Raylick, treasurer.
Tom Strezak, board secretary.
And we have on the phone, telephonic, Sean.
Yes, Sean Collins, member at large.
Appearing telephonically, and Devin.
You have Devin White, legal counsel for the district, appearing telephonically.
And we have one member of the public here.
Mike Colson.
Okay, so roll call has been completed, as has introduction of attendees. We're going to start with new business A, discussion and possible action regarding the review and discussion regarding meter reading and billing discrepancies. So this last billing cycle was the first billing cycle that I'm aware of in some time where an entire district meter read was conducted. That meant the meter boxes were cleaned out, as some meters had several feet of dirt on the top, and every meter box lid was listed, all those that were found, and every meter read. And prior to that, we're not clear on what meter reading looked like. As we entered the meter reading numbers into the account system, several accounts, it resulted in several accounts having incredibly high dollar amounts on the billing. And as a board, it was our responsibility to assess the problem, to look at how we were going to investigate, and to look at ways to abate the situation. So we immediately stopped billing and payments. We have not sent out any bills. I believe a few payments have been taken, and some may have made payments online, but we are no longer taking any payments. And we have reached out to third-party professionals for their support and feedback on how we can follow best practices to get our readings and billing on track. We have had discussions with Utility Billing Solutions in Prescott, and they bill for utility companies, and they do a lot of business with water districts. We sent a certain number of meter reads going back for 3 months, and they have reviewed what we sent. And moving forward, our suggestion is that we take our read sheets, which are in a PDF format, but actually put them on an Excel spreadsheet. I'm sorry, the read sheets are in an Excel format, and we're going to put those onto an Excel spreadsheet. And Utility Billing has offered to look at the last 3 months of our billing read sheets. If we need an additional few months, we will provide that. They are going to look for patterns and look for red flags and things that just seem to be an anomaly, and they're going to point those out. And that's going to happen prior to us doing any meter reads. We asked Enhance because we had manipulated numbers on the meter reads that the new team did. We asked Enhance to scrub the meter reads and any of the adjustments made so we could start over with a clean slate. But we didn't. But we needed the third party. We need the third party to come in and direct us in how to enter the meter reads correctly. And if there are any adjustments to be made financially, they would direct us on that. And Natalie's on board to be able to document any of the adjustments so that we have an indisputable trail of us doing the right thing, being transparent, and making the best choices. We have Lisa with Rural Water, who is going to oversee meter reads on this next billing cycle and probably for at least another one. She will go out with a meter reading team and spot check various reads, look for anything unusual. She has all of the notes from the last meter read, so she can identify where some of the problem areas were, and she's going to be the third party representing us in that. And then we have Devin, who's going to make certain that we follow the best practices as closely as we can, and that all that we do to abate this problem is transparent, and we make everyone aware of what we're doing. Any questions or discussion on that?
Question,
Yes.
was any of this pertain to the auto billing or the
No.
A-Star?
No. Has nothing to do with auto billing.
Right.
Anything else?
I had a question. Do we need to make a motion on the payment to utility?
I was getting there.
Okay, sorry.
Hadn't gotten
sorry.
there yet. I wanted to
Sorry.
see if there were any questions first. So, utility billing solutions, we're not going to sign a contract and we're not going to become their customer. They have just offered to help us get through this situation with the documentation and the trail that we need, because unfortunately, when we realized there was an issue, I don't think we realized the depth of the issue. And so we want to make certain that we do everything appropriately and that it's all validated. So they charge $75 an hour. And that's what we would be expected to pay for them to enter any data, to assess the data, to give us recommendations on both meter reads and billing changes. And personally, based on what Irene and I and others have experienced since this started, this is the most viable and the best solution and that we have seen. Irene, would you like to?
Yeah. I just want to share that. So when the meter reads came in this time, after each meter being read, some of the discrepancies that Elaine is referring to are pretty significant. So when the information was input into the billing software, we saw bills come out $99,000, $132,000. And that's the result of, it's a comparison of the current reading to the prior reading. And then we would look at the prior reading, we went back about 3 months and could see that it was consistently either the same or very close to the same, which led us to some concern over it. As we dug further, we understand that it's been a practice when working on the billing that if something calculates out very strangely like that,
Yeah.
adjustments would be made, and we were not aware of it as a board. So our concern is, as our fiduciary responsibilities to the owner users, is that we need to make sure that those meter reads are correct, and we need to make sure that the information that's input into the system is correct. And so by involving utility bill services, they'll be looking at what's been input into the system and providing their advice on whether this looks like it is a high usage. Basically, they're going to look at history, whether this is high usage and yes, we should bill, or whether this is, a situation that needs to be adjusted, and they'll make their recommendation on adjusting, because we don't have the expertise. We don't want to be the ones that make those kinds of decisions. Now, Lisa with Rural Water is going to go out with the new crew, make sure that they are reading the meters correctly, provide any additional training that she sees that might be necessary. They're not going to look at all 850 again, but they're going to look at a random sampling, as well as some of the higher way off base readings and amounts and that type of thing. So we've been seeking resources to try to help us get to the point of finding somebody who would be third party, objective, not connected to either the people inputting the information or the people reading the meters. So that's kind of how we got here. And as you guys know, the reason that Elaine and I are so aware of it is because I think Julie fell and broke her arm back in December. She wasn't, her right arm, she wasn't able to work or write and that type of thing. So she did some training, quick training, and then ongoing training for the two of us. And that's just how some of this stuff started to come to light.
Yeah, so this gets read out in the field, right? The meters, we don't have that many smart meters. Right, we have a few, but most of it all gets read out in the field. Then it gets logged. So somebody would actually log, say, 99, well, it'd have to be a lot of gallons to come to almost $100,000. It'd have to be more than we use in millions of gallons.
Right.
So, and that would just kind of get logged and just...
Well, so in what it appears at this point, because we're doing the research on it, but what it appears is that twofold. Potentially and likely, not all the meters were being read. There's estimating, right? And so that went on.
That's been a problem ongoing that we were trying to address, Elaine, right?
Correct. And then now,
with meters not having been read for a very long time.
So now we come in and the field staff reads the meter.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you specifically in the case of this 99,000 what it appears, but I'm not an expert. We got to get this from the utility billing services.
Yeah.
It appears that the reading, the actual reading this time, is lower than what the reading has been in the past, which makes the software system think that the meter went all the way around. Therefore, yeah. So
we're finding
be a reasonable assumption.
we're finding that the majority of readings that were $100,000 and more, or way up there, that's what happened. There were several where 2 months in a row the readings were the same. I don't know if it was read or if the reading was just written down to be the same with no change. And then the reading, the reading of the first crew, it would be again lower than the 2 months previous readings, and not significantly. It doesn't have to be significantly lower. It just a little bit, but it's going to throw off the entire billing system.
And then as we went back through in the software program, it appears that at times, if the reading didn't come out exact, enough to...
This is in the transfer from the field log to the software, into the computer, right? From physical
Right.
Okay, just to follow you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So say in this situation it pops up $99,000. If you're the one sitting behind the computer, you see there's no way that's
Yeah.
right. You look at the
Sure.
meter.
There's a red flag there.
Yeah, you look at the reading for this month, or that you just were handed to input in the system, and you see that it was less. And I'm sorry, more last month.
Yeah.
Well, to make it all work, you may put in last month's number. So we've got several touch points along the way that need to be looked at.
Well, because that's not a viable solution.
No, we're not. We're actually not. I don't think we can come to a real solution on the whole issue until we get Lisa's feedback on what she sees happening, and
She's probably seen this kind of thing.
yeah. And Cheryl, I think her name is at Utility Bill Services,
Right.
and they also have seen this before.
Right, yeah.
So when we get kind of that will be the facts, and then from there we can figure out
Right.
what needs to happen.
We do know that we can say with certainty that some of the meter reads were not done, and we can say with certainty that historically, usage would be manipulated if it didn't match the meter reading, so that things would match and the bills could be printed and enclosed. And that would be a lot to take on. We just have to be certain, and we have to have moving forward that we have processes and procedures, and that we have good checkpoints to make sure those are being followed.
Yeah.
And a way to do this would, to have periodic spot checks by someone like
Utility services.
utility billing systems. Not that we need them permanently, but we do want to make sure that the office processes and procedures are being followed, and that everybody in the field, the meters are actually being read, and that the data is being inputted correctly and
Right.
accurately, and adjustments are being made as they should, and not just willy-nilly. So
Sure.
I think I can say that none of us are really surprised to find this. I think maybe surprised about the depth,
Right.
but historically, Tom, you're right, there's been a lot of talk about meter reads not being done.
Right.
There is an email from 2021 where the board indicated that one of their staff who read meters for a period of time had not really been reading the meters.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but we can't say that all of it is attributed to that.
Right.
We're still looking.
Yeah. And do we know about how many accounts this affects?
We would be, I think
In
we would
ballpark?
be, yeah, we would be,
No.
I think we'd be guessing.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, just
it's more than, it's,
50? We have 850 some odd
I
accounts?
think you were probably closer to 100 or more.
100
Some
accounts
odd.
maybe. And these are just, 100,000, that was just on the high side. But were they averaging in at or something? Or
Were they what?
Averaging.
were
No.
they maybe
amounts.
averaging, like maybe closer to,
But no.
1,000 where it should maybe be, 100 or.
No, on that particular one, it was simply 3 months of readings that didn't line up. There were 2 months where maybe it was guessed, and then the third month it was a lower reading than the first two. And that just caused the billing app to go, what the heck is going on?
So you may hear people have gone onto the, what is it, the portal?
Social media?
No, the portal, where they can go in and see what their bill is.
Okay.
So we've had
Right.
conversations with people that have done that, and and explained that we know, we're looking at it. We're
Right.
not going to bill. We're not going to bill until we know it's what we send out is appropriate
Right.
and no late fees or penalties and that kind of thing.
Right, right. We're working to resolve the billing issue.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. And it looks like we're on a good path. You guys, you know.
It had to happen, and
Right.
I think I wish it had. It had to happen, and so this is unfortunate, but it's really good because now we can get on track and answer the question that, or address an issue that people have had for a long time, and that was billing and meter reads.
Right.
Because we've had numerous people say, "Oh, well, I wondered because I never thought my meter was being read, or how could they read it with 3 feet of dirt on it? How
Right.
could so?"
Yeah. Well, and we know that, yeah, people were being underbilled because, or they could be overbilled if these guys are just, you know, estimating as well, you know.
Again, it wasn't in large amounts. I don't know. I can't even
Right.
really say that. That's going to be up to.
And like when they read a meter, well, if it is inaccessible to them, then we do have a right, you know, to do the estimating. But, you know, but they have to be also notified.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you need to make your meter accessible, or if you want us to do it for, I think we have a $25 fee or something like that right now in our policy, whatever it is, our ordinance.
Yeah.
But if it's gone on forever, that, you know, then that says, well, then who was operating the system, you know, that let that happen? We know it's not the new team. We know that much.
Right.
Well, we can't answer any of those
Yeah.
questions right now, and
Right.
we're still doing a lot of research. We're doing investigations. We're having third-party experts look at all of the information, and then we'll see what that results in.
Right.
I think it's just really important. I'm sorry. I think it's really important that as board members that we just be completely transparent, like we've talked about. And you know, the bills came out strange. We're taking a look at it, and we're looking at it from both the standpoint of the meter reads in the field, as well as, you know, the input into the software program.
Right.
We've got, you know, third parties looking at this so that we're doing the right thing by the owner users.
Sure. Yeah.
When we get the information back.
Yeah, we're doing our best to address the situation and remedy it.
So, $75 an hour. I can't give you a time frame. They've done quite a bit of work in the last 2 days at no cost, as we called and asked if they could work with us to help us resolve this issue, and we were really glad that they agreed to do that. So
they made themselves available to address it quickly, promptly.
they didn't. I think the
or-
feedback that we got from them, the suggestions and the comments they made, we found them to be quite helpful to be. Irene, your thoughts?
Yes, no, I agree. I agree with you.
Right. And I mean, it's not like we want to be trying to shop this, or, I mean,
No.
we don't have time. I mean, we need to.
And this is what they do. This is their business.
Right.
They are professionals. They've been doing it for a long time. They do
Right.
it for other districts. And the great thing about this is we'll send them the read sheets from the past read, the one we haven't billed for, and then the read sheets that we get for the next billing. And they will be able to look at all of the information from both of those months and highlight anything questionable so we can go out and check it before we even begin to generate the bills.
Right.
So the billing will be as accurate as it possibly can be, and it will be a good start to getting on track with resolving meter read discrepancies and billing issues.
Right. Well,
So I'd like to entertain a motion to pay the $75 an hour to Utility Billing Solutions for an undetermined time. I'm going to say at least 2, if not 3 billing cycles, and then we should be in a pretty good place to go back to our own.
So I'll make the motion.
Okay, and so we have our legal counsel.
Yes.
So he's on board. He's not saying, wait a minute, guys. So it seems like you make the
Yes,
motion.
Tom, this is Devin speaking.
Yes.
Based on the information I've seen in my conversation with Elaine and Irene, I think everything is proceeding as it should. This is step 1, the investigation phase, and it's ongoing. I can say anecdotally, our firm works with Cheryl on a few other clients, and we're consistently impressed and appreciative of her work there. So,
Very good.
I haven't personally seen this situation unfold either before, but I think hiring the experts is the right way to go, and
Yeah.
our recommendations, all is well. We're proceeding in the right direction, at least I should say.
Yeah, thanks.
So Irene made the motion to approve $75 to be paid to Utility Billing Solutions. Just support us in this matter, and I'm looking for a second.
I'll second the motion.
Pardon?
I'll second it.
Okay. Tom did the second, but thank you, Sean. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion is passed unopposed. So that will be exciting. We have a lot of information to get to Cheryl by the end of the week so that we can hopefully start our second meter read somewhere around Monday. Lisa from Rural Water will be here getting things ready to go with that. And on Friday, the executive director and Lisa the executive of Arizona Rural Water will be at the office, and Jerry will be appearing telephonically, and we're going to have a conversation about moving forward, not only with this, but with some other matters that contribute to this that we need to take a look at as well. One of the things with meter reads is we seriously need to consider replacing the meters soon. Okay, so B, discussion and possible action regarding purchase of a new copier printer. And all I'm going to say about that is Irene is going to discuss it. And if you are ever in the office, we have 2 printers, both of which are home or personal use printers and not commercial. And they are not intended to print out over 850 bills every month. And at present, and this will make a point in Irene's presentation, we're spending about $200 a month just replacing the ink cartridges on one printer.
So I'll make a little correction to what Elaine just said, because we used to have 2 personal printers in the office. However, one quit working over the last couple of weeks.
Right.
So we have one, and through that printer right now, what we do is we run about a case of printer paper a month, which is about 4,000. Yes. Yeah. So I know I was
like 5,000 sheets of paper.
Yeah, about 4. So you wonder, like, what's that about?
That's an average of what we kind of do.
Yep.
Wow.
And so we print a lot, right? Because we're still working in paper, so more efficiencies need to be looked at and that kind of thing in the office. But every day we have to print. It's basically 4 or 5 what they call audits. One is for cash, people that have paid cash, people that have paid by debit card, credit card, check, iWeb. So all of that comes together. And then if we have any final reads, we print. We're inputting work orders, which we weren't before. We're inputting work orders into the system, but then we have to print them off to give to the field. And then at the end of the month, we take all of these audits for the entire month. So whatever number that is.
Audits like receipts?
Yes,
I mean,
they're called
copies.
audits. Yeah, they're called audits, but it's really like,
Okay.
activity sheets, monetary.
Right, and we're averaging 130 something a day. Or, what, 300 something a day? It's 4,000 a month,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, it's kind of, I don't, so I don't have a daily average. I have what I watched get used.
Yeah.
And the other piece is that we're using this same little printer to scan. So all of those audits at the end of the month, they have to be scanned and then sent to Natalie electronically. So we've got printing going on, we've got copying going on, we've got scanning going on, all in this little printer.
Yeah.
And the other one broke because we were able to go back and forth. Now we have one, and this one we can print maybe 3 or 4 sheets now, and then we have to slide over and we have to tell it it's okay, go ahead and print it. It's really bad right now.
And we don't have a backup now. We're just so we're just down to one. So we're definitely needing.
So I did some research and I did talk to the office administrator, I guess, over in Mayor. I talked to Theo, and both of them highly recommend this individual, George McClenahan, I think is how you say his last name. Anyway, he came to the office and we talked about what all we do, what we use, and the fact that ideally in the future what we would like to do is be able to digitize some of those old records, because we have to keep a lot of them permanently according to the records retention. And there's one room in that behind that big mirror in that office, it is full of boxes and old records and that kind of thing that we moved over. So his recommendation is that we look at something like this. And the BizHub is Konica Minolta. And he is able to give us a discount for being a governmental entity. Where's mine? Okay, and there's an option to have the stand or not, but the stand is only $100 and something. It's less than $200. The whole package, as it is right here, is $3,857.73. Or without the stand, it's $3,600, so a couple $100. And then you could lease it for 60 months at $94.55. 60 months, 5 years. But there's also a maintenance agreement.
Wait, if you do it the lease, it comes out to over $5,000 at the end when you would have to buy it.
Right. And then the maintenance there's a maintenance agreement, $90 a month. And what that is they come out.
On lease?
No.
No.
Either.
Right, either way.
Yeah. They come out periodically.
Once a month, I think.
Is it monthly?
Monthly.
Yeah. They clean it. They go through it. They oil it. They, do whatever needs to be done. If it breaks, they'll come in and they take care of the service call is part of that maintenance agreement. Any labor parts, and the really cool
They replace
thing.
everything but the paper, so that means ink is included.
Ink is
So right now we're spending $200 a month on ink, or actually more than that. No, $200 on ink for one printer, and with the service agreement, the only thing we pay for is paper.
So I went ahead and
No, because
also
we would still have to pay the $90 a month.
We pay $90 a
That's what you
month,
are paying.
Right.
but we don't have to buy the ink.
Right.
We just have to buy paper.
That's including the ink, basically,
Correct.
the maintenance.
And that's whether we rent it or purchase it
Correct.
for the $90 a month.
But if we lease it, the cost of the printer would be $5,000,
Yeah,
a
that's-
little more than five.
That's ridiculous.
And so then I called, talked to several places. Only one actually called me back, and that was Pete from Arizona Copier Outlet. And he has a product similar, not this one, but similar. And the charge would be $4,058. But we only have 90 days to get the parts, labor, toner, ink, or whatever. It's not an extended, and this one is, they certify it, but it is a reconditioned one. So it is one that came out of an office, and then they recondition it, and they do certify it, but it is $4,000. And like I said, the maintenance piece of it is only the 90 days. And then I went online and I chatted online with somebody from I think it's businesscopiers.com, business.com. I'm sorry, I didn't keep that. And their recommendation was that we, something that they would consider similar is this Sharp MX5071. And they all look pretty similar, but this one is $5,500, and that's without any type of maintenance agreement or paying for toner and all that. So all of that being said,
I'm sorry,
that's
couldn't we
okay.
go back on the other one? How much was that a month for maintenance? 1,100?
A month
Yeah.
is
It was 94, wasn't it?
$90.
Oh, okay, so I-
41 cents.
Okay, I put that down as for a year. So I estimated about 1,100 for a year.
Exactly. No, nothing.
Wouldn't that be about $90 a month? Would be 12 months. I mean, a little over
Yeah, that
1,000.
is, yeah.
A little over 1,000 a year. Okay, so alrighty. I'll just. Okay, so I'm sorry.
That
So-
seems ridiculously
Disturbing.
high, $1,000 for a year's worth of maintenance? That's crazy.
Not when you're not
really,
buying
if you
ink.
consider, yeah.
I
you
We're
should-
think-
spending,
I should have been a copy machine person.
what is $200 a month times 12 on ink? That would be
2,400.
2,400 we're spending just on ink, which is a lot of money.
I was
Yeah, so
honestly,
really,
until I worked in the office, I would.
Well, we take
it's
these
an
things for
alarming
granted.
amount. Yeah,
As far as, you know, oh, they got copiers, printers, and they print all this stuff, and it all just gets done, you know,
We keep sending her down to Staples.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
I
guess
mean,
when you factor in the ink, it makes up for the it's the $90 that we would be
Right.
spending anyway, so
Right.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like a wash, so.
And if it breaks down or there's a problem, we don't have to try and figure
Right.
out what the heck is wrong. We can
Right.
call
We
somebody
call
to come
in.
out and fix it. And we can't
I like
afford to
this
have a printer go down indefinitely when we have bills and stuff
Right.
to get out.
yeah, and even as it is, we want to have some kind of a backup, right?
Yeah.
So that we don't even just only have that, but we want a backup. I don't know if the one we have now could be considered, you know, even acceptable for that, but, you know, you guys know Office and all that stuff a lot better than me.
What are you saying, you want 2 of those?
Not 2 of these, but, you know, something for a backup, that's all, just
Like
something to, you know,
another
could just,
personal.
could be a small, yeah, personal one or whatever, just something. That's, you guys would know better on what to do, you know.
You can't use a personal printer in a
It's
water
huge.
office with as much printing
Well,
and
no,
all
not-
this stuff that we do. It's-
Whatever we use for a backup, you guys, you know, let us know what you think on that too, you know.
Well, I think
This,
perhaps the sole one is left is adequate for now. As a backup.
right.
Not as a
right.
primary
Yeah,
printer,
that's
but as a
that's what
backup.
I'm wondering is if, you know, is that acceptable? And if you feel it is, that's fine too, you know.
I mean, worst case scenario, if they couldn't get there to fix it like that day,
Right.
there, I mean, I suppose.
I mean, it's gonna be pretty quick that they're gonna.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because you have a contract with them, right? I mean,
Exactly.
we have a contract with them, working with them,
And they come out of Prescott,
A
so
valued
they're pretty
customer.
close.
right?
Theo highly
Right.
recommends this guy, and
Right.
Theo does quality work, so I
Right.
don't think Theo would say, you
Yeah.
know, this is a great person to consider for providing your
Sure.
printer needs if he
Right.
was going to be a slouch.
Right. Yeah. So.
So,
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase,
You feel this is the better, right?
I
Smaller
do.
footprint, bigger impact,
yeah,
and
it's the least.
Smoking
steel. It'll fit in the corner.
Selling point number one.
and with the stand because it's
Yeah.
going on wheels,
Yep.
right? Can
Yeah.
move around, and it's just proper. It's just proper. And it's
So I'd like to make a motion that we purchase this BizHub Konica Minolta copier. It's a multifunction copier, scanner, whatever,
right.
in the amount of $3,857.73.
Mhm.
That's including the stand, plus pay the maintenance agreement of $90.41. Oh, it says plus tax per month.
Right. And I'll second the motion.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Oh my gosh, to get a new printer, that's, we're gonna do a happy dance around that. That's huge.
About
benefit.
time.
Julie
Probably,
will.
right? It's probably been long overdue.
Okay, so the next one is discussion and possible action regarding roles and responsibilities of board members. And there seems to be the need for some conversation about this before Irene has some things to hand out after we have this discussion. So I think first, let's talk about the perception of the role that we play and our perception of what we would like to see that role include or what we see that role as including. Irene, what do you think about your role as vice chair? And I need to say this is going to preface a part of the meeting next week because every year we do have to vote on whether or not any positions change or if they stay the same. So Irene,
Was the question, what do I think of this job?
you're using the phrase job only because it feels
I
like
like
that
it.
right now.
How do you like us?
I see my role as being involved and understanding all aspects of what's going on in our water district. Not to the point that I could actually technically do the job, but to where I have enough understanding of what goes on and how one fits into the other. I see my role as, well, obviously, if Elaine's not available, then I would be in that position at that point, or for that time period that she's not available. I also see my role as really being able to communicate and collaborate with everybody, all the board members, to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Obviously abiding by open meeting laws, making sure that we all do, representing myself to the community as somebody who's committed to the district and doing what we can to improve things and be transparent and communicate with the owner users. And I see myself as representing the board anywhere that I'm out in public and conversation might come up about the district, to make sure that they correct any misperceptions or answer any questions. That was my best.
Yeah, that's very good. I would agree with a lot of that.
As board chair, it says that I think the responsibility of, in part, steering the ship with input of the owner users and board members, other professionals, to try and make sure that I'm making the best decisions. And sometimes they're really difficult decisions, because the ultimate responsibility for the board, it's going to come back to fall on my shoulders. And that's, Devin, is that kind of a correct basic description?
Yeah, I think at the highest level, yeah. I mean, you're sort of, for lack of a better word, the director or the CEO, kind of doing that sort of stuff. So yeah, and I think it's also defined in your policy as well. So the current role of chairman is defined in your policy.
And Irene and I have been working closely since, from the beginning, but especially since Julie broke her arm, and we were put in the office situation of really having to learn a lot about how the office functions. And in that, we were able to identify gaps, things that were missing, things that needed to be addressed, and as well as in the operational changes, and working with Jerry, we've seen that as well. So I think having an overall understanding of all aspects of operations and administration is really important, so that as we're making decisions, we keep in mind what's best for the district. And if we need support with that, our job is to reach out to experts and to consider feedback of the board. So, and I think, I have to say, Irene, you've been doing so much more than just fulfilling your role as vice chair. You have been going above and beyond, and it would have been, your support and help has been invaluable.
Thank you.
So know that it's appreciated, even though your check every week says 0.
Right.
There's no misread on that one. So Tom, how do you see your role? How do you define it as the board secretary?
I'd first like to say thank you.
Absolutely, of course. Thank you.
And as secretary, basically I have the duties here on policy and procedures for the district, but most importantly, a representative of the owner users, a voice for the owner users. And so basically in contact with them, but fiduciary to watch out for the spending and oversee spending and how things are being spent. And otherwise, just what's here. I mean, the minutes, I record the meetings here, live stream the meetings. I basically built the website for the district. So I put in hundreds of hours on that, transferring all the data and everything. But my duties are to most importantly safeguard the district, and so always kind of what's happening with security and following everything, and keeping up with because anyhow I won't mention what's all here, but keeping up with everything I'm being sent and, reading everything promptly as it comes in to me, and these things that, should be, I guess, part of a board packet. I don't have printing abilities to print a lot of this, so a lot of it's on my laptop. And, but, basically, looking out for the best interest of the owner users of the district. That's most important to me. And
Okay.
transparency.
And we appreciate all that you've done. We appreciate your intent, and we appreciate your thoughts on that. But for the sake of time, we need to move on. Melina, what is it?
Well, when I first came here, I told you and Tom that I don't know, that I probably wouldn't be much good. But then I got here and you shoved me into the role of treasurer. So I looked at that, and it's 5 nice little things here that I figured I could do, but then you didn't let me do any of it. So I don't know what my role is here, quite honestly. I just don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just supposed to be a thorn in your side.
Thank you for that, and we've had the conversation about not letting you do things, and we don't see eye to eye on that. There's some real differences in opinion there, so I think that's fine. This is another reason that we're going to look at the roles and responsibilities of board members, because things have changed, and what we see in policies and procedures, some of that no longer applies because of those changes. And so, Sean, next to you, what is your feedback?
Yeah, I don't really have any of the paperwork in front of me, but from memory, I know that my job is to pretty much back up other board members when needed, and also on the old version of my job, they had something backing up pretty much like be able to sign for checks and things like that. Backing us up where you guys need help. That's all. And it's short.
Okay, I think this has been insightful, and
I'm trying to take off the brain and
I got questions for it.
I'm being the noise in there. My hearing aids are going.
I would like to speak when you could let me in.
Okay, no, go ahead, but we need to keep it.
Okay, so I just basically spoke from, myself first, but as the policy and procedures, which you say is outdated, but is effective and is what we had to go on when we signed up for this.
But it's no longer effective.
Because the structure has changed,
Yes.
and now it looks like the office things and all that is being shifted to the board members, which are volunteers. But right now, I just like to say, for the record, to the public, so my duties are, and this is in the Policy and Procedures Manual, which could be found on the website, record audio minutes at each meeting, responsible for the recorder and microphone equipment. It's over there, but okay. Responsible for transcribing the minutes and ensuring that at least 2 copies of all electronic files, including recordings, are maintained at different locations. Now, it was well known before we all ran as a team, you, Melina, and I, that I was not able to do the transcribing of the minutes. And I don't think anybody ever on the board ever did transcribing of the minutes since Sarah was here for about 20-some years, that she did the transcribing of the minutes. And that kind of worked into her pay. She got paid quite handsomely. But that's, anyhow, that's what it says are my duties. But that's something I don't have the ability to do. And so we'll just move on and safeguard the best interests of the owner users, of course. For all of us, that's all of our duty. Co-sign checks when primary signers are not available. Those are the duties of the board. It's not management of the water company so much. I mean, it's, these, fairly, we're volunteers here.
I understand that we're all volunteers, and I understand that, there have been the traditional roles of the board from chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, member at large. And again, the bylaws, and we'll be taking a look at those again very soon, and the description of duties for the board members, as well as a lot of other things and policies and procedures, is quite outdated and no longer serves the best interest of the district as far as tasks and the roles of the board. We each have, as volunteers, a responsibility to contribute and to complete certain tasks, because it's what everybody contributes that makes the whole. It's the 5 pieces that everybody puts in that make the pie whole. And so, Irene, we have, and this is just a starting point, and we kind of, we initiated that previously as far as roles with the secretary and treasurer, but we have everything now, and this is a starting point, and we need to take a look at these and determine what the roles of the 2026 board need to be to accommodate the changes we've made and to keep things functioning, or to get things functioning more equitably or fairly, I should say, so that we're all doing something to contribute. So Irene?
So I was not able to find those 2 job descriptions that were passed out the last time. In my stuff. But so what I had is I just had everything kind of put in the same format for each one of the roles for board members. And this is really a starting point, because I believe at our next meeting we need to kind of finalize these. We need to start updating our policies and procedures, or
That's been in the works
yeah.
for months.
Yeah.
That's,
So
with the attorney and the council.
So, and then Devin has a copy of these. So I brought them so that we can scratch out, add to, whatever we want to do, so that we can then have a discussion all together about, regardless of who is in the job, I think we need, this board has said that we would look at policies and procedures. And so not looking at this from the standpoint of who is actually in the position, but more about the position and what that position really should be doing. Does that make sense?
So this is homework to look at it, review it, and have thoughts on it by the next meeting.
So what was this about that you gave us at that meeting last month?
Well, she couldn't find her copy, so she made this instead.
Right.
It should be fairly
So
close.
is that even more still? Because what I see here is a real heap load lot to be dumped on the board.
And Tom,
here.
please keep in mind, she said this is a starting point.
Right.
Our homework is to go home and look at it, to
Right, well, I've already went through
draw
all
a
this.
line through, to come back
Use
and
that.
participate in a discussion
Oh,
about those things that we
That's
can agree
on the
with.
same page with what you guys have, but yeah, so that's what I thought we were gonna discuss today, because, we all have this. We're all given this at that meeting, and it was like, and
But
now,
it's on, she has something for every position.
Right.
So that means that member at large, we just need to scan and email that to Sean.
okay, well, that's nice, because then it's not just Melina and I being
No, it's
singled
not.
out
It's every board
as
position.
we were, I guess, or it was looking like we were, but
No, we just started with
yeah, I'd
two,
like a copy.
with
of
the
that.
intent to
did
go
you give
back
me
and
one?
do others,
Sorry.
but we just haven't gotten
Oh,
to it.
thanks. I mean, yeah, because we're gonna need some
And you don't have to read
people with
to,
some technical, experience to fill these shoes here, or these seats, if you will.
Well, I think it just expands more, it's not just being a face for the public and keeping an eye out and being the voice for the owner users. That's everyone's role. And sometimes we need to be
No, it's the things that I
mindful
read.
of how we're representing the format and the position that we're using to represent the owner users. And that goes back to Facebook posts that are,
Communication with the public, and
Devin, would you like to speak to that on the Facebook post, please?
Whose role the Facebook posts are?
No.
Facebook.
When we say that we need to be mindful of the platform that we use to interact with and share communication with regarding the owner users. I did send you a copy of the Facebook post, and you've seen other Facebook posts, and I was just asking that you comment on the inappropriateness of Facebook posts to in a lot of the interaction with customers. And if you would like to speak on that to Tom.
Sure, yeah. I mean, and Tom, we discussed this a little bit before too, but just making sure that if you're posting, as an individual, that's very clearly stated, and so there's no confusion about, whether you're speaking on behalf of the district and
Right.
things like that.
sure, absolutely,
That number one.
right.
But
No
I
problem.
think, and when other board members share, when you make a comment about the board, it's oftentimes dissing the other 4 board members. And I don't know if you realize that that's what you're doing, but your comments really affect the entire
Can you show me
board.
anything? Can you show me anything? Let me see what you got.
See what, as far as what?
Well, what you're accusing me of.
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm saying that it reflects negatively on the board.
Yeah, Tom, I'll jump back in there. I don't think, anybody's throwing any accusations around right now. I think we're just want to go over sort of the ground rules we discussed last time, which is make sure if you're speaking as an individual, that's clear.
Absolutely.
We discussed, not disparaging any of the board members specifically, things like that. So I don't think it
Right.
was throwing any specific accusations at you, but just rather reminding you of that discussion we had previously.
Yeah, it
Correct me
sounded,
if I'm wrong.
yeah. Okay, yep, there's no problem there.
Sean, would you like to add anything about thoughts on Facebook posts as far as board matters go? Or
I would say let's just keep professional and keep if we have something to talk to each other about and get reflection. Let's talk about it before we stick it out there. That's all. Because once it's out there, it's out there. And if it's a negative piece, it's it's in front of everyone. That's all. I don't want to go into it too crazy because I think we've hit this. We beat this one up already. So
okay,
this subject's everybody talks about. So.
just wanted to re-emphasize that. So everybody has their homework for next week, and we will return. And
Just real quickly, I wanted to clarify, because I think you said nobody thought that managing the office was part of a board member's responsibility, and it's not. Okay, but I know maybe it might have appeared that way at this point in time, but that was really a matter of
Right, well,
stepping into,
just because honestly, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
it was just the involvement in the office as closely as Elaine and I were involved was really a matter of stepping in versus hiring somebody as a temp and
Right,
trying to train them. It was difficult enough for us to try to figure out how things run, but it is not a board member's responsibility to run the office.
yeah, I mean, so, just like for an example, that we would consider having the secretary, he's already got his hands pretty well full. Records management and retention. maintain, organize, and secure governance records. Ensure records retention and disposal follow legal requirements. Maintain board member terms, oaths, and required documents. File required documents with appropriate governing body, Yavapai County, etc. And this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg of here. Support public records requests through proper channels. This is everything that, you know, someone was paid to do for the district for 20 some odd years. And that position, basically, that would be a custodian of records at an average of $21 an hour, and on the low side, $44,000 a year. And it's for a governmental entity as ourselves, it's called Records Access Officer, RAO. But I'm not even qualified for that. So.
And again, when I think Irene was really clear that she didn't go through and audit or take out any of these things. She just printed what was available, and our homework is to go through and take a look at it. But Irene, there is an example I think, Tom, we could offer. I think that this would fall into your role as secretary, and it would be totally appropriate. And what is it about, because your meeting minutes are out, you're not doing meeting minutes, but what is the requirement about keeping the meeting minute log agendas and that? Could you describe what that would entail?
That's part of the record retention requirements, is that the agendas, the minutes, and anything that was distributed in a meeting, that they all be kept, and it's permanently. This is my opinion. We're going to talk about it more next week, but that would seem to fall, you know, along with the minutes piece of it. We've already talked about not transcribing. I'm doing that.
An added task or duty. And because, minutes, you and I worked a little bit together on the minutes. And so currently what I'm doing on minutes is record minutes for all regular, special, and emergency board meetings. Record minutes for all executive sessions. Document motions, discussions, actions, decisions, and votes accurately. I think that would just be in the minutes. But so it's not something I do. I see you take notes and you kind of, but I'm not real good at taking notes so much. I'm trying to take notes on, that's something maybe doable. But present draft minutes for board review and review as needed. So I guess that would fall under if I did the minutes and I say, okay, now the minutes, are done. And just like you would, present them to me and say, have a look and see if you, think any corrections need, which I spent a lot of time and I went through a lot, and really, tried to make things a little bit more accurate, but, you did really well. There wasn't much to do, but I definitely read everything very well and, diligently. And so that's, I'm doing present draft minutes. Okay. Maintain approved signed minutes in the district's permanent record. So whatever that is, basically I'm seeing to it that, we're within the law as far as we have those minutes on that audio recorder. And then we have the live stream here, which I basically put into a program to bring the audio up so the public could hear it better, and I work on that. And then I upload that to YouTube.
However, that is not required. That's an extra step, but it's not required.
Okay, but it makes us in compliance.
But again, I just want to emphasize, it's not a required role of the secretary. No, it's part of the recording of the minutes, and I just go the extra distance because now this will be on YouTube tomorrow. If anybody wants to go in the office and say, well, I want to see the minutes or anything, it's like, well, the recorder doesn't happen to be here right this minute, or,
But we can get you to see the minutes right now on YouTube. It's available, everybody
So
can access
we
it.
need to halt the discussion. This is for next week. This is the homework to look at. But I do want to emphasize that I'm not, one of the things that that has been suggested was that you be able to keep the notebook. That would mean going back and putting the meeting minutes and the agenda for the past year in a notebook, along with any of the board packets that were mentioned in the agenda, and that you continue to maintain that because that is a permanent record.
So is that like a file at my house?
You could come to the office, once a week and file it, or once every 2 weeks, and put the meeting minutes and the agenda and anything.
So basically a physical copy of the meeting minutes, signed, I believe, maintain approved signed minutes. So they would actually be signed, I guess. I don't know who signs them. You do, maybe.
No, you do.
I sign them, okay. Track and archive resolutions, policies, bylaws, and directives. Don't know what to make of that, but
And I think
that's something you guys feel, should be my duty as well. I want to hear what everybody on the board, each and every person, feels about what duties should be my responsibility, and if I have not been pulling my weight or anything like that. I'd
Okay.
definitely like to hear that.
And again, some things are changing, and in not doing the minutes, that is taking something else on, and that's a conversation for the next meeting.
Well, it's been that way for 25 years.
Well, it's 2026, and
Right,
things that we're
right.
working, not
Well, we
working
know we
for
have a new
25 years,
structure.
we need to.
Right,
To
but
address.
I just want to say, basically, from what I see here, is we want to take a lot of the work that is office management, it's...
Tom, I gotta stop you right there. No, that's not what we're doing.
No, it's all
So
here.
it's-
It's in these 2 pages.
It's 3:15.
Yeah.
We need to take this home and look at what the possibilities and what you agree with, what you don't. This is just a template, and discuss it next week. Because the responsibilities of the board do have to reflect the current practices of the district. And we're not looking for anybody to assume a job, if you will, within the district. These are volunteer positions.
Exactly.
And as a volunteer, there have always been guidelines and written roles that each volunteer in that position is supposed to follow. It's everybody's contribution in making the whole.
Right. We know what we signed up for.
Devin?
Now we're going to find out where we're going.
You had to leave at 3.
Oh, that's true. Okay, it is 15:15, and let me ask, do we have any comments or questions from the public? Okay, so it is still 15:15. Uh-oh. Sorry, Irene said you had to leave at 3, so I hung up on you.
Oh, I thought this time, so I'm good till 3:30.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Devin.
So, you have any input, Devin, on anything that we've discussed?
Sure, yeah, I guess I'm just high level comments. These roles are not set by statute. They're set by policy. And so again, like Lane and Irene have stated, this is a first draft sort of these roles. And Tom, if you have some feedback for them, again, I think next week is where you guys are going to hammer all that out and come to agreement. And again, they'll have to be voted on, right? So, that's sort of that. I think some of the roles that I have seen, or the responsibilities, some of the ones you're reading off, I think are appropriate for a board secretary. But again, it's set by your guys' sort of agreement more than anything.
Perfect. Okay, Devin, I'm sure, actually, no. We've really cut back on our use of legal counsel. I hope that might change with this challenge we're facing now, but we'll talk soon and keep you updated on what we're doing with I'm moving forward with the reading and billing issues.
Yep, sounds like a plan. Thank you guys for your time, and I agree. I think you guys are doing a great job of using us less. So, no further comments from me. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks. Bye. And the meeting is adjourned at 15:15. See you guys on Tuesday.